I want to hit a ton of news. I mean, they covered some of it yesterday, but towns putting up license plate reading cameras and hidden cactuses, tracker chips going on the driver's license, federally funded, that know when you're going to the bathroom. Your iPhone, your Droid follows every calorie you eat, what you do. Siri reports everything back to the government. I mean, this is a joke. And the people running things are eugenicists. They're globalists. Did we ever get that quote from John Paul Jones, "I've only begun to fight"? Because he's fighting like a British ship 3 times his size. And they tell him to surrender. And he says, "I have not yet begun to fight." That's what he screamed at him. And then he ended up sinking the British ship. But he was a professional soldier. Nationality was American. He was actually born in Scotland. Since you mentioned John Paul Jones, man, these guys were all such characters. Real characters. But one could spend all day just studying them. That's why I just have a cursory understanding of each person. But that's better than most. I mean, most people out there have no grasp of anything except the image of how to look successful or act powerful. It's like our last guest said. I thought it was a very poignant and intelligent guest. Had a great spirit. You could feel it. People thinking rolling around in fancy cars that they're free. No. Now, if you got a fancy car and you're promoting liberty and freedom and got a big garden and healthy, happy kids and everything, you like a car that runs well, nothing wrong with it. But the car itself does not make the man. Like there's nothing more manly than a guy with a big beard. Men have beards. It's an affected Grecian or Roman thing to not have a beard. I don't like it. It scratches. I don't put men down who have beards. It's fine with me that beards are back in style. It's men trying to, I guess, reclaim, there's been a lot of sociology written on it, reclaim their manhood. They feel like they've been gelded. But the beard does not make the man. Just like the cowboy hat does not make a cattleman. Like I could call myself a cowboy. I could say I own cows. I do. I could call myself a rancher. But you notice I don't wear a cowboy hat. I'm all cattle, no hat. But you see, for a man who's been around real cowboys, I am not a cowboy. And when you sit there and you look at these fake liberals, these piles of human manipulating trash, to call themselves liberal. Liberal just means well-read. Liberal means you're into freedom. Well, man, I'm the biggest liberal around. But your freedom ends when it crosses my threshold and tells me what to do. And you look at what these politicians are pushing and what they're doing. They are sick people. And good men and women, I don't care what color you are, where you came from, we all go through the same thing. We're all the same in our heart, in our DNA. At the end of the day, we're all humans. We act the same. Different races of the human race are just different subgroups of the overall race. And I don't mean subgroup in a bad connotation. Different derivation. It's like a rock squirrel in Central Texas, a little bit bigger, a little bit more aggressive, and they're black and gray, and then you got the classic squirrel, it's brown. Well, they can still breed together, but they don't. It's a funny thing because it's 2 different clans. It's two different groups, 2 different tribes. But then you can go to Enchanted Rock and see rock squirrels that have bred with 2 other different subspecies of squirrels, and it's these cool-looking spotted squirrels. So in some areas they do. But it's whatever the environment pressure drives them to do is what it then produces. And the average person never even thinks of things like this. They just sit back and let other men and women engineer the planet and engineer the culture the way they see fit. And then guess what? These are a bunch of greedy, hateful people that have engineered the culture so that it's easy for them to run and makes them feel big because we're dumbed down and poor and stupid. Well, that's no elite right there. A real elite wants to raise people up. A real elite is so cool that they don't need to dominate. They're going to be followed. A real elite revels in seeing other people become greater than they, because there's a shared kinsmanship and a strength in the species. I want to hit a bunch of news, but let's go through the next 5, 6 callers. Daniel in Tennessee, finish up your point. Sorry the break cut you off.
Hey, I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry, brother. I was sitting there playing my flute. But I was going to say I'm Appalachian American, and I was born in Southwest Virginia, East Tennessee, and I'm related to A.P. Carter and Mother Maybelle and June and Johnny Cashburn to our family. If you ever get a chance to take your kids, ask David Knight, because he's from North Carolina. Go down the Smokies on the Tennessee side or the North Carolina side and go check out Cherokee. I got family down there, too, and I just wanted to encourage you that you have a lot of listeners in the Knoxville area. And
I know I do. That's some of the most beautiful country in the world, I tell you. I loved it. Back when I was a kid, my parents would do road trips into the Appalachians and into the Smokies, and we would spend a lot of times every year about a week or so there, just over the top beautiful.
I don't know, like you were saying the other night, like y'all are our cousins, a lot of people from Texas. Y'all, when y'all settled, y'all left from our mountain, y'all left home up here. But if you ever get a chance to check out Carter's Fold, it's on Clinch Mountain, right outside of Bristol, Tennessee, where they race NASCAR. That's where the birthplace of country music was, in Bristol, Tennessee. But anyways, I called in to talk to you about like how important like Aboriginal culture and stuff is. But if you can ever get John Trudell, or if you can ever get not Russell Means has passed away, Floyd Westerman Red Cross passed away, if you can get on Dennis Banks and John Trudell, maybe to talk about plants or gardens or anything. But I see my friends and family like in Cherokee, and even my Appalachian family that used to can. You spoke the truth, brother, when you said that if it wasn't for Canada during the Great Depression, our people would have died out. I mean, we hunted the turkey and the deer to almost extinction because we were starving to death. But
no, I hear you. I mean, my family in East Texas was upper middle class, a lot of them, but they still shot deer out of season, and people make fun of it, but they ate possums and stuff, and especially the poor blacks ate whatever they could get just to survive. People make jokes about poor people eating possum and stuff. I mean, you eat a possum or you die. And can you imagine when the society collapses, which they're designing, this Agenda 21 collapse program, and selling the idea of what it's going to be like when the average yuppie, I mean, I don't know how to fix a car or roof a house or fix the plumbing like my dad does. And he doesn't know how to do it like his daddy did. But compared to the general public, I'm like a handyman. Can you imagine when the crap hits the oscillating cylinder, what's going to happen?
Oh, definitely. And it's like you were saying, during the Great Depression, people don't believe it, but our ancestors, yours too, because, you're from this area originally, people got so hungry, Alex, that people even boiled the soles of their boots and shoes, to eat them. That's how hungry people were during the Great Depression. People don't realize how serious that was.
Well, they're going to find out. This whole artificial system's coming down by design, and the government's bunkering and huge stockpiles of food and medicine and water. And I look at this, and I appreciate your call, and I mean, it's like aliens are running it. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying aliens are running it. I don't get into all that. But the more I look at it, it's like the Bible says, it is not of this world. What governs this world, the God of this world, is not of this world. Because elites do things that are even against their own self-interest to hurt the earth, to hurt fellow humans. And it's beyond just enjoying hurting people. But it's also just a bunch of spoiled, rotten people. I mean, there's just so many spoiled, rotten people out there that think it's their right to do whatever they want and dominate other people. And good people have laid down and created a climate that's allowed all this. Bo T, thanks for holding from Texas. You're on the air with gardening ideas. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, bub?
Go ahead, my friend.
Hey, out here in Houston, they got the Astrodome, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm proposing an idea to turn that some bitch into the world's largest greenhouse. Now, I think that's a beautiful idea to have use that. The taxpayers will pay for that. I don't want no fat cat getting a hold of it and use it for a gambling casino or anything like that. What do you think about that idea?
Well, aren't they using the Astrodome for, like, conventions and stuff?
No, the Astrodome is decrepit. It's vacant. They don't know what to do with it.
Oh, well, I'll show you my ignorance. It's kind of like that pyramid in Memphis. They finally turned it into the biggest indoor swamp or whatever for a Bass Pro Shop or whatever. Listen, I was ignorant about that, but yes, that would be a great idea to turn that into a green